Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. Today, I thought we'd look at whether there is a need to sort of re-examine our pension arrangements. All of this is following from a special report put out yesterday by the Vanguard, a very, very detailed report, just looking at how the situation is now as it concerns very, very senior public officials, in particular former governors, that have now become something else, either ministers or governors, and the fact that a generous pension, often after holding that down, they still are getting remuneration from their current, occupation, employment. And this is in spite of the Code of Conduct Bureau Act that actually says, paraphrasing it a bit, that look, you can't draw remunerations from a previous public office while you're holding down a new and a different public office. But that is observed, it would appear, mostly in the breach. So that's what to look at. Well, everybody knows the state of our pensions. We hear about people collapsing on the line, waiting for their pensions, for verifications and all of that. But it's not just the monetary thing. Also, perhaps there's a sense that, are we taking too good care of our former very, very senior officers? Because at the completion of their tenure, in the case of those who actually, a governor, for example, spending 8 years, in the saddle, he will be entitled to up to two houses, maybe in the state capital, in some states, one house in the state capital, another house in the federal capital of Abuja. And that's apart from cars that are renewed periodically, sometimes 3 years. Now, all of this, I think, is legit. It's there. But I guess the question is, should it be like that? Or does it need for us to look at it for whatever reason? Well, Honorable Ikwola Omishure, former member, Lagos State House of Assembly, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you, Yori.
Indeed, and while we're at it, seeing as you're from a House of Assembly, I suppose the act that I'm speaking about, it actually exempts state houses of assembly and the National Assembly from this particular situation. Barrister Onyekachi Monday Ubani, although it's the other way around, Monday Onyekachi Ubani, second vice president of the NBA. Thank you very, very much for coming on the program.
You're my pleasure.
Indeed. Let me start with you, Honorable. As I said, the law is there. It's clear what shouldn't be done, but it is being done. For example, the Senate president he's involved in this, but there are very, very, very many, because when I was making my notes, just taking a sampling, just a mere handful of some of the ministers involved in this. Rotimi Amici is in there, Chris Ngige is in there, Kayode Fayemi is there, Babatunde Fashola. Talking about senators, there's Bukola Saraki, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, Kabiru. We're looking at 47 former governors in 21 states. Do you think it's proper?
Well, I want to say that in the days of plenty, you hardly know whether a chief is stealing your food in the store. But when your store is getting very empty, then you now get to know your stock. What is happening in Nigeria is what you call murder. We are murdering the nation. We have been killing the nation for years. And when you say a governor who sat on the budget of a state for 4 years or 8 years, in executive capacity, awarding contracts, getting gratifications one way or the other, comfortable, and now leaving office, you now give so plenty to the man, and you now even say 500 million worth of houses, one in Abuja and one in the state capital. The deputy governor also is all involved. They also have a house in their state capital, enormous cars, 3-4 cars to be, brand new cars, a lot of goodies to these people of honor. Why those who suffer for Nigeria, work for 35 years, or age 60 retiring, are asked to come and queue for the dole? They die on the field while waiting. We are in a state of anarchy
But it's
in
not
terms
illegal.
of financial.
But it's not illegal.
No, it's very, very legal.
Okay.
And that is why I'm sad that I'm one of the legislators
Okay.
that made these laws
Oh,
for
okay.
these people.
Thank you very much. I'm going to come back to you, Honorable, because let me go over to Onyekachi. He made the point at the end there where I respectfully interjected, say, didn't we do this to ourselves? Because the legislators did it, and the legislators are doing it on our behalf. So we did this to ourselves, or we weren't watching, we weren't looking, and this was done and we didn't know. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a conspiracy of the political elites, you know, and I have said it before. We need to even examine the legality of some of these legislations, you know, that made provision for these very outrageous and annoying, you know, provisions for our
Retirement benefits.
Yeah, for the office, ex-office holders.
So you begin
now
to see what...
look at what the Constitution itself says concerning act of lawmaking. It says that in making an act, it must be for the peace, order, and good government of either the federation or of the state. Peace, order, and good government. Now, you question this piece of legislation that is made in favor of ex-public office holders. Is he for the peace? Is he for the order? Is he for good government? It is not. He said that these governors, when they sit as you know, executive governors, you know, they award contracts and they get all manner of gratifications, they get all manner of allowances, and so these guys, before even they leave office, they are billionaires already.
Imaginably.
No, imagine. Go ahead.
Since you
no,
went there.
even realistically, sir. Let me say, even realistically, go and evaluate every governor that have left office in Nigeria today. He's a billionaire.
No
I'm not even saying potential. I'm saying he's a billionaire. Go and watch all the assets and cash in bank. Now, this is such a person again that is leaving office.
You're the lawyer, so...
And you now conspire with another set of political class, the legislators, who's supposed to act as a check on executive lawlessness. The legislators connive with the executive and then enact a law that give this outrageous, is obscene amount of retirement benefits. If you count it, security is there, cars are there, furniture, you know, there, houses are, you know,
medical
allowances, you know,
Holiday.
is so outrageous that no sensible country, no sane country will allow such a piece of legislation to see the light of the day. Obama has just retired. Obama left office a few days ago. Obama will come back after a holiday to live near White House on a rented apartment. On a rented apartment, in order to ensure that his children that are already in school will finish school before he can now, you know, relocate. Maybe any house he's going to live outside New York or Washington, D.C. is going to be maybe on mortgage. And this is the president of the most powerful country in the world. I'm telling you that he is going to live in a rented apartment when he comes back from holiday. But here in Nigeria,
different strokes for different folks.
For even ordinary local government chairman in Nigeria, when they leave power, if you see the amount of wealth they have garnered for themselves.
But we're talking
about
that which has been written for them. So it doesn't affect local government chairman.
Yes, they are not included anyway. But I'm saying about this particular retirement benefit.
Yes, for
if we want to restore our sanity,
former governors,
Nigerians must come together and insist on the repeal of this obscene law. I understand that the president is even appealing to the governors that in the light of economic reality, that it's very obscene for them to maintain such laws in their various states.
Do you think, Honorable Mishure, you being a former legislator yourself, do you think that there's maybe you know what the thinking is of such public officers when they are writing this, because they wrote it for themselves, when they were writing their rules, what's going on there? Because very many people might say it's unconscionable. But then again, I won't be surprised to hear that there are others who would also say sour grapes. That's what's worrying you. If you had half a chance, you'd be in there and you'd be claiming all of those benefits yourself. Not that, you know, I don't imagine that would get much traction.
I just want to make it clear that the legislators probably were bamboozled.
Bamboozled?
Yes. To pass those laws. Well, I mean, even though it's in the rule. But do you know the fact of the case now? The National Assembly too, they are also putting up a law for them to get life pension. The Senate President, the Speaker, even the state assemblies, they are working on a bill to enjoy the same thing. So when you say conspiracy, truly it's conspiracy against the people of this country. You see, America...
And this conspiracy is by people we elected.
I mean, by the people we elected...
Take care of our business.
To take care of our business. But I can tell you that when Yoruba has a proverb, it says, if you give a madman a hoe, it will cultivate towards himself. And that's what they are doing there. But now, the nation is facing a very disastrous situation financially. The nation should rise up and ensure that this thing is repealed before it is too late. Whether we like it or not, we copy the presidential system, but we have not succeeded in copying the discipline that surrounds presidential system. In America, all those things that we do here cannot be done there. You go to jail. But we like the goodies over there, but the discipline, the controls, the way and manner they comport themselves are not here. How do you even tell anybody that a governor of 8 years that sat on a trillion budget, Naira budget, is now in need of a house? Already, most of them have houses in Abuja, 5, 10, 20.
Okay, you know what? I've got to go on a quick break now, but let's keep our gunpowder dry. We'll be back, and we'll also include your calls on this topical issue. Okay, welcome back. We're looking at the pension situation, especially, after the Vanguard newspaper did a special report yesterday where it did a very, very detailed report on what's going on all over the country as far as pensions concerned for our very high public officials, elected public officials. So much so that one summary is that 47 former governors of 21 states actually draw as much as 37.4 billion naira from the Treasury to service their emoluments, whereas the law actually is that you can't draw the emoluments of a different public office while holding down a separate one right now. So, Onyekachi, when you look at the situation, what can be done? Because we are aware that the National Assembly is very, very unlikely to do anything by itself just because people are making noise. The Senate President, by the way, has already said that my pension goes to charities, so I don't need it, I don't hold it. Must have been other things in his mind. But he said, yeah, it's happening, but it goes to charities. We remember the president said his salary, the salary for the president as far as he was concerned, was too much, and reportedly, put his own salary, which was less than what was offered, and said, take the rest back. Now, not everybody's going to be able to be like that, but this whole matter of thinking that one is entitled to, for example, the more dramatic cases, 2 houses because of being a governor. And the point has been made that perhaps some of them can, finance the construction of houses themselves with mortgages and all of that. Is anything going to be done about it? Can you see the National Assembly, for instance, saying that we've got to fix this?
Yeah, the present crop of politicians in Nigeria, if we're hoping that they will even repeal, even as we have just said this morning, that they will repeal those laws, we maybe, we have to wait forever. I think what Vanguard has actually done is a very public-spirited assignment they have carried out extensively in order to raise consciousness for Nigerians themselves. I think Nigerians must now determine the kind of country they want for themselves. Yesterday I was on radio and I was saying, look at what is happening in America, look at what is happening in Europe. There is rise of nationalism. People are coming up now to say we must take back government from the corrupt politicians back to the people. There must be that consciousness now in Nigeria that certain things must be done right. How come governors are collecting what we call security votes? That is not constitutional. and they determine the amount, and they don't render any account. And we allow such brazen, violation of our law for years. And it's going on. And so with also this pension law, that I said is conspiracy of the political elite. The legislators connive with the executive. Now the House is even saying now their leaders now will also be entitled to such, obnoxious and, outrageous benefits after retirement. And we're all sitting down idly. So I think that the consciousness of the people, must be raised at this point. It's only the people that can stop it. Waiting for the political elite to annul those laws or repeat those laws, it will be waiting for the impossible. That is the issue. So Nigerians must utilize this information that Vanguard has actually carried out in order to demand clearly a retraction.
Okay. I understand there's a call on the line. Good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Mr. Ayori. How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Okay. My name is Jane. I'm calling from RTD.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually want to contribute to the program.
Please go ahead.
Okay. I think Vanguard did a good job. And, no matter how the people are crying, if the leaders of today don't make up their mind to change, we'll continue to be the daddy. We're having a serious problem in this country, and they're not ready. I think they are possessed with this money. I don't know where they are taking it to. So until they decide to change, because all this recession we're talking about is in your pocket. You have been collecting this money for years. It's been ongoing, and now they keep collecting, and now we are in recession, they are still collecting. So until they decide that this is the time to make a contribution, let go of most of the things they've collected, and know that no matter what, we only have shelter to put shelter on our head, wear clothes, and those are just necessities of life. Until they know that, we will continue to be the darling. Thank you so much, Uncle Yeri.
Thank you very much for calling in. The whole matter, people are going to talk about revenue mobilization and something committee that they fix salaries. I'm just reminded, I think in previous conversations like this, we sometimes wonder at how we fix our salaries. I understand, for instance, that a legislator will probably easily make much more than a professor. I don't know if that is true or not. And you begin to wonder, what are the yardsticks, and how do we fix these things? Maybe not all professors, but some of them. Is there anything that is there a sort of a moral code that we are working by? That's the kind of question that you probably think, it doesn't seem very much like so, you know.
Who do you want to that?
Yeah, please. Well, I understand another call has come in. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for calling in. Please go ahead.
I'm Isha Imam. I'm calling from Jos.
You are on air right now. Please go ahead with your...
Okay, my contribution is the political leaders are mainly, in fact, they're exploiting the very new thing. But until we change our attitudes, because I've argued on several occasions on this same issue here in Jos with some of my colleagues. Some people were even justifying the fact that political office holders haven't held their offices for that number of years deserve such amount. And I think it's, even within the society, some people still believe they deserve it, which is unfortunate. Imagine a political leader that managed to just head a political office for just 4 years, taking away that huge amount of money. And one of your guests was even saying the American president hasn't served the country for several years. We still go back to the rented apartment. I think we should copy positive. We claim we copied democracy from the US, but we're not copying the positive sides of democracy. We're just mainly exploiting Nigerians. I think until we stand up and protest, these political leaders will still justify the exploitation, the corruption in the system.
Okay, Isaac.
That's my take.
Okay, Isaac, thank you very much for calling in. This is a time of austerity. Yeah. There is, everybody knows we're cash strapped. But you wouldn't know that when you look at all these things that are still carrying on, going back to when there was a relative plenty. So the National Assembly, for example, to what extent is it on board with this effort to combat this whole recessive era? It's carefully, apparently, leaving its own matter apart and saying, let's see where we can make cuts. They're not thinking that let's start from here and let it just catch on.
See, I think the political class is very selfish, but we cannot blame them. The originators of fat salaries and allowances came up with those figures, thinking that if political class are given enough
incentive,
future and promise, they will not steal. But unfortunately, the formula has not worked for Nigeria. There was nothing wrong in a good salary, in good future, but a man who has stolen, unfortunately, the goodies were given to them without a stick. It should have been a carrot and a stick. We are giving you enough for your future, you steal a penny, you die for it. They are allowed to commit murder in terms of stealing public funds, and at the same time, they have a future kept away at the expense of the nation.
So any wonder that politics is a do-or-die affair in
And
Nigeria?
that is why.
Any wonder?
Because
that is why you got it made. You got it made if you can get into public office.
When you discover that a councillor will earn more than a professor, then why will you not die to be a councillor?
Exactly. Thank you for holding on. Please go ahead now.
Please, my contribution is that I want to say that it is very unfortunate that only in Africa our politicians do not think of future. That is not the spelling of my name. I say K-I, not J-I. That is K-I-N-A-F-A. That is Kinafa. So what I'm saying is that it is very unfortunate that Nigerian politicians think only of themselves. They are thinking from governor to senate and this, and the upper chamber could not say anything about it because most of them are the beneficiary of this 37 point something billion. So what we are saying in a short note is that except Nigeria race against this, if not, something will be continued. They will even from money to power, they will even plan for their unborn children to come and inherit that thing. And when we are talking of change, they are busy. Well, a common man cannot buy Gary from the market. They are spending something billion on ex-governors. These people are loaded. They have money in Nigeria. They have money in overseas. They have a company overseas, and they are doing this thing. I think this government of Buhari of change have to look into this issue with the view of solving this thing because this is a mess.
Okay.
And it's not good for Nigerians. And thank you, and remain blessed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jinafa. But at the end of it all, we did it in that we put them there, we sent them there, and then once they got there, this is what they did. But stick with us. We'll just take a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, please. Welcome back. Pensions and our elected officials, particularly governors, even appointed officials, as in the case of ministers. There are ministers who are former governors, and, and once you become a former governor, certain entitlements apply depending on your state. It can get as cushy as having one house in your state capital and another in Abuja, and that's apart from a combined figure of something like 37.4 billion naira, according to the Vanguard report, that actually has to be paid out to 47 former governors of 21 states. If you've been a former governor, you're there, you're on the payroll. It's probably part of the reason why public I'm told that there is a caller on the line. Good morning, and thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Madam Blessing, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay.
Please, let me just say something. I want to support the first caller. You see, these are leaders. They treat us the way they see us. Because they know when the election is coming, it's just one derica of rice, 1,000 naira. And they will bring musicians. They start dancing for us. Yoruba has an adage, he said, when they bring musicians to dance for us, what did we expect from them? That is one. Secondly, last week we had the governor of Oyo State, when the student came to the same meeting, he said, Shane not into school. That is to show you the caliber of people we vote for. Thirdly, you people will be talking, you forget the issue of finance. Councillor wants to come to position. One godfather will say, go and bring 20 million, and you expect the councillor to get there and not make his money first. God bless you.
Thank you very much for calling in, Madam Blessing. It is the way it is. I don't know that we can do anything about it, because the very people that we need to help out on this whole matter are the beneficiaries. Yeah. So we're going to say to the beneficiaries of this largesse, no, cancel it out. I don't know.
No, Yori, it will be very difficult for those who are eating these fantabulous retirement benefits to, come out and say, look, stop it. I think it behoves on the people to actually stop it. And that's why we must also put our eyes on the contemplated bill that is before the National Assembly, because I understand that the Senate President, the Deputy, including the Speaker, are also being provided, with these outrageous retirement benefits also. And even at the state level. So we must begin to put our eyes before we are caught up with an act of legislation also that is covering that illegality. As I said earlier, law must be made for the good order and and peace of this particular state or federation.
Exactly.
Now,
not the peace of the individual. Because you're sorting the peace of the individual out in this whole recession. I beg your pardon. I got Mr. George on the line. Good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Yes. Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, Mr. Bannon. Good morning, and the other gentleman.
Morning, Mr. George.
Uncle Yori, I'm aware that there is, in the civil service rules, pension is only earned by civil servants, not political office holders. In other words, after PAMSEC level, you are not entitled to any pension. So these ones that they are collecting pensions, even those that are entitled to pension, Uncle Yori, they have a minimum number of years they have to serve, and the minimum number of years is 15 years. So even if the political office holders were to argue that they want pension, have they fulfilled the 15 years minimum number of years? Now, take all those, let me just overlook all that. Let us take it for granted that pension should be given to them if they are arguing that they want pension. If they take all these, emoluments that they're asking for, I don't really mind if that is the only thing they will take. If they promise that if you have all these allowances and all these emoluments and pensions, if you are caught stealing 1 naira, you should go to jail, or you should be something, a heavy punishment should be meted out on you. Can they assure us of that? There is so much corruption. These same people are the ones taking security vote. We don't know ghost workers' money, where it goes. They are the ones inflating contracts, and we do all the money that is taken from the center. We don't know where it goes. So it's not only a monument. You can argue that, okay, Mr. Obama is now going to live in a $6 million house. If you have served as a governor, you will want you to live comfortably. If that is the argument, okay. But is that the only thing? This is my question. Thank you.
Okay. Is that the only benefit that accrues to a former officer, even as luxurious as that really is? I guess the point here is that this whole time of austerity, where revenues are way down there, quite frankly, we're broke. Everybody is saying it's going to get better, it's going to get better. But apparently not broke enough for this set of public officers to say, while this situation continues, we ought to take a look at all these remunerations. Follow the lead of the president, for example, who said that, look, it's within my law to take X, but I just want to take X minus this. That's his own little widow's mite. It probably doesn't make make any difference. But he did set the example, hoping that other people would follow. I don't know that anybody has taken up that lead, Honorable.
It's on Nigerian to give up goodies. Buhari is just a man out of the moon. It's not like the average Nigerian.
Almost like an ascetic.
What is clear is that crime is being committed. I was a member of the LASA board of Lagos State before getting to the house. The first month I got to the house, I resigned and stopped collecting the allowances of a board member. Because I was aware, I asked one of my colleagues, Barrister Ogala, is it right for me? He said, Omishore, it's not right. Oh. Immediately I went to resign on that board and stopped. For even the Senate president to say
probably not everybody who was in that situation would go and stop, because sometimes government slackness, they continue to pay your salary.
I sought for legal advice and I was given.
Sure.
But lawmakers are supposed to know. If Senate president is collecting governor's salary for Kwara and he's still collecting here now.
Well, the one that he's collecting,
he says
he said it's going to charity.
I think it's just an afterthought.
Okay.
Why do you even collect at all? I think the nation should
Why do you
not
think
stop.
it is right to collect?
We should not really stop at asking them to stop. I think they should refund to the public purse the excess of what they have taken. And you can imagine if they say they should build a house of 500 million for one person.
Yes.
And it's robbery.
Okay, let me take. I have another person on the line. Mr. Yakub, good morning. Thank you for holding on.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ifeanyi. And then good morning, Barrister Obana, and then Honorable Omishore. God bless both of you because you are speaking our mind. Shijori, I want you to know Nigeria is easier country to govern in this world. We are the most easier country. Even I can govern this country if I have chance to do so. Because I can do whatever I like, the Nigerian citizen will still remain docile. They won't say anything. Similarly, you see, we are not going to out of this problem we find ourselves until Nigerian masses get up and ask for their right. I keep saying this. And then I want Barrister Obani to address this very particular issue. If we don't want to go about it, where is the civil society organization? They are just keep silent on this thing. You find that they already did a very fantastic job. For let us know what is going on, even though we don't know before. Even some of us know, but we don't have atmosphere to say it out. But now Nigerian citizens know. How do we go to go about it? A building house for ex-governor. And then they're collecting salary twice. Like Honorable in the House already said it earlier. That governor or former governor of Kwara State is collecting salary there. And then he's not telling us he's going to charity. Who told him to give the money to charity? Did you let us know that the money is going to charity before now? See, this fact that God Almighty will bless them. The person that did this job is doing a fantastic work. But, Barrister Obani, how do we go about it? We have to speak out. Thank you, God bless you.
Okay.
Yeah, there is.
Thank you.
Nigerians have decided, I don't know whether you have gotten it, trending on the social media. I think you say on the 5th of February. Yeah, we need to begin to express our views and our grievances with certain things that are wrong, both at the local government level. Of course, you know that local government level, they collect money allocation from the federal government, sir. Do you know that the state governors don't give that amount of money to the local government councils? What they do is that you sign that you have received 30 million, but they can give you maybe 5 million to go and pay salaries and all that. The rest is kept by the state government. These are things that have been going on.
But not in every state.
Almost every state, sir.
Okay.
Almost, sir.
Because the point
there is no single state that gives local government money their full allocation. Go and quote me. There is no state in Nigeria today that every allocation comes to local government goes to them. 100%. There is no single state, sir. So I'm saying that Nigerians are now coming together.
Yeah, I'm just saying that some states,
there is no single state, sir. Tell me any state. Tell me any state that doesn't collect it, doesn't take the money.
After agreed deduction,
yes,
the rest is handed to them. Some states.
Which one? Like tell me one now. Mention one. There is none.
Lagos had made that assertion before.
I don't know. Let them come here.
Lagos has made that assertion before.
They come here and swear, that it doesn't collect. So what I'm saying is, there is something fundamentally wrong with the system, and I'm happy that the consciousness of Nigerians are being raised. They're saying by 5th. Everyone will come out and say, this is what I am finding not good about Nigeria. So that is the way for us to start. All of us must begin now to take this country back to ourselves. And I'm very happy whoever initiated that particular information and training on social media. So when that day comes, everyone must carry a placard and say, I am not happy with either the state government or with the local government or with the federal government over this issue. You know, write it out and all that. That is the way for us to start. And we're getting there.
You know, it's interesting you say that because we're talking about social media where you say some they're trying to get together a movement. I think I remember a name on social media. I think it was Femi Animashaun who actually mobilized to go to the National Assembly and actually go and tell them, you know, some
that we're not happy with what's going on.
We're not happy with certain
stuff. This thing that took place, the protest that took place in America, it was not only in America. You know, all over the world, you know, against Trump. It was somebody that initiated that on social media.
Okay.
And you know, social media is very powerful.
Sure. I think I have another caller. Good morning. We just lost that. The matter here, I think, really is going to be how sincere or hypocritical we're going to be. I think there's the Yoruba adage, paraphrasing it in English, no child, you know, has a spoonful of honey in its mouth and then decides that is the time to spit. So this is where there's probably going to be a lot of book, a lot of grammar, a lot of justification.
That's right.
But I doubt that anything is going to change unless there is no other option but to change.
I've been an office holder. It's very difficult for you to say, I'm not taking...
Sorry, can I just come back to you immediately after the commercial break? Stay with us, please. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Home stretch now. We're looking at the topic of pensions and former governors and their deputies. In fact, the lead headline on the front page this morning says it pretty well. Outrage trails pension for ex-governors and deputies. It is Vanguard itself that did the special report yesterday, not really telling us anything new, but bringing us bang up to speed, since the longer you go, the more former governors there will be, such that we've arrived now at 47, according to the article in the special report in the Vanguard yesterday. We have 47 former governors of 21 states now drawing, by way of pensions and emoluments, 37.4 billion naira. I think that is annually. Okay, I had to interrupt you.
Yes, I was saying that it's quite difficult for
And by the way, let me also share with my viewers the fact that when we went to the break, we were having a very, very intense discussion here about the way state governments will do what they will do and then hand the rest over. And I had said that I think Lagos is an exception. Now I just remember that, wait a minute, you have experience in Lagos. So why am I talking? I don't have any experience. Tell us about that. What's your experience?
Well, I can tell you that in Lagos, I was a member of the local government admin committee.
Sure.
And we do go to councils. And so far, so good. No council chairman, not one, during my 8-year stay at the house, told us that their money was being deducted. Okay. And I have cause to believe them.
Okay.
But I cannot swear for other states where I did not serve.
Okay, Apostle Diamond is on the line. Good morning, Apostle Diamond.
Good morning, Chief Yori.
Thank you for calling in. It's just Yori.
Kashi Ubani.
Chief.
Good morning.
Prophet, how are you, sir?
I'm fine, and my brother there too. You see, we are docile as a nation, very docile. These legislators we have here, there, and there, or public officers or our elites, can they try this type of thing in Tunisia or Algeria with their present situation? They can't. They dare not. We are just looking at them as if we are dummy. It's very unfortunate that if we remain like this, then perhaps larger percentage of Nigerians, they are corrupt. And yes, larger percentage of Nigerians are corrupt from A to Z. So God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think
I
think the implication of what the Reverend just said is that who is there now to call them out, seeing as he's alleging that most of us are of the same bent, same mind. It's just that the opportunity is not there.
You see,
that's what he's saying in effect.
Yoruba says, "Mi ò lè kú kí ijó ilé bàbá ẹ̀." I don't want to die. You cannot take your father's title. You see, Nigerians were very docile. Look at Egypt. When they were fed up of anything, they rose up and the government listened to them. And finally in Nigeria...
So people say we're too docile. That's the point that has been made. We're too docile.
In those
These
days
things
in Nigeria,
happen and nothing...
In those
there's
days,
no
in those days in Nigeria, you have a very virile student union. They come out. The labor organization was like an opposition party that speaks for the people. But all of a sudden, everybody gone to sleep.
So if there's not an organized protest against it,
no.
you don't think any of this is going to stop?
I reckon that with this expose, the government officials, particularly enjoying this thing, they will come themselves to order. There's governors forum. They know, they are hearing, they are listening, they are part of us. They should not wait until the people ask for it. If they ask for it, it's going to be very, very negative.
Okay, maybe more of our politicians should be populist as Trump. Trump would take this on and say, no, the worker. It's the worker first. And the worker, but I don't know, maybe there are some of them like that. Good morning and thank you for calling in.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. Williams.
Good morning, Williams. Good morning to the two white men in the studio there.
Good morning.
Honestly, we are docile in this country. I concur with the previous caller. We are too docile. And at the same time, most of our leaders, I don't know whether they are living among us or whether they live in the moon. They don't know what other Nigerians are feeling. The pains other Nigerians are going through. Honestly speaking, these people are just insensitive to so many plights of Nigerians. Look, we're in recession, and they still keep on milking us. This is bad. It's barbaric. And I mean, honestly speaking, by Obani, you and the go in.
Okay, I think the line went dead there. But Barrister Ubani, I think he was saying something like, you people are our hope. You people with the law.
Yes. See, the annoying thing with this particular pension, the retirement benefit
for governors and former governors,
they made it a first line charge.
Correct.
Now, whether the state is
no matter
is
how
bleeding
broke
that,
we get.
Now, the state governments, almost all of them are owing 9 months. Some are owing 10 months salaries to Nigerian workers. And some of them have not paid any pension or gratuity to retirees. In fact, somewhere in Akwa Ibom, I understand that they rioted yesterday. Teachers that were not paid and all that. And they arrested all of them. And they were thoroughly beaten up for, because they said their parents are dead and nobody had been paying them. They were thoroughly beaten up by the Nigerian police. So you see all manner of things going on. These governors who have been in government, as my brother has rightly pointed out, awarded contracts and collected kickbacks, and then all the security votes in the millions. So these guys can buy houses all over the world, are now making provision for their future, for the future of their children, for the future of their grandchildren, for the future of unborn children.
Yeah. That's the way it works.
Because that's where it's going to be.
That's the way it works.
So I'm saying that the consciousness of Nigerians, I don't know where I'm going to raise it. So it is the people
in the last few
now,
minutes,
sir.
In the last few minutes,
yes.
What are your suggestions, no matter how theoretical?
Yes.
And that's what I want us to spend the last few minutes on.
Right.
What can be done, apart from just sit down looking?
Now, we have looked at the provision. I insist that every Nigerian must have a copy of the Nigerian Constitution, 1999 Constitution, and look at what the laws has even provided. I'm coming, sir. Provided, on the way of governance.
Yes.
And then insist on our leaders who are there now, waiting for the new election that is going to come up, believing that Nigerians, there will be a change of attitude, that nobody is going to give us 2,000 naira or 5,000. That spirit has to come and say, I will collect your money if you give me, but I'm going to vote for the right persons. Are you following me? Or you reject it outrightly. It all depends on you. And say, we must not continue this way. I told you that this country, that something has to hit Nigeria.
Okay.
In that theory, I've been telling you, something has to hit Nigeria for Nigeria to wake up from slumber. Nigeria has been sleeping. Everything you say, sir, concerning the local government and all that, there is no single state, and I'm maintaining it here, there is no single state in Nigeria that is free, that is innocent, including Lagos State.
That is not thieving the money of local government.
Into local government money.
I have a feeling, I have an advice.
Yes.
for the elders of Nigeria, particularly the Council of State, they should go and sit down and advise the present government and the present Senate and all National Assembly and state assemblies that they should, for once, save themselves by voluntarily relinquishing all these goodies. Because there are certain goodies.
Well, there's going to be a problem there. Somebody
Buhari
already has 2 houses.
Sorry,
you are now saying you should come and relinquish them. You know how it is. I'm going to come back to you. Let me take maybe our last phone call. Good morning.
Good morning, Yori.
Hello, thank you very much for calling in.
Yeah, my name is Akinleke Olaison. I'm calling you from Ilaro.
Go ahead.
My greetings also go to the barrister and the honorable there. I think the problem, let's just face the facts. I think the problem is with more of the followership. I think we should be blamed. Look at the various agitations, protests that we've been having. Since when last have we ever protested against all this outrageous whatever? Look at this BBOG group. If the way they have been going about this asking for our girls is the way that our activists, everybody has been demanding for government through governorship, I think it was going the wrong way. So help us. I don't really think we have much problem. If when the President Buhari came and said they wanted to combat all this corruption, I think what we should have demanded is that there should be, let us have a template for salaries and wages across everybody. People should be paid based on certificates or qualifications.
Yes.
Whether you are a senator, whether you are the president, whether you are a gatesman at the Federal Polytechnic Laro, let us have the same template. It will be easy for us to not demand from you how you are.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much for calling in. But what is the level of one's passion and commitment to petition against this, to demonstrate, protest against it? Trump won.
Yes.
Trump won the election.
That's right.
So many people are unhappy about it. The women as a group are unhappy about it.
They showed their displeasure.
And they showed their displeasure. The pictures are there. The same could happen here if we were impassioned enough. So I guess when people say we're docile, the thing never catch us. Really.
No, the consciousness is coming up, my brother, Yori. The consciousness is coming up. You remember what happened even in 2012, during the fuel, subsidy, protest. It was very massive. Nobody cajoled each other. The turnout was very massive. It's going to happen like this. We'll get to that level where Nigerians will say, enough of all this, let's take back Nigeria, to ourselves.
Because it's not going to be done for us because it's the right thing to do. You don't think that's going to happen? Nobody's going to do that unless we somehow find a way to cause them to see it from our point of view.
From our own point of view, we must make them to realize that just like happened in South Africa, where they had to give up, apartheid, even happened in Russia, where they had to now, live up socialism. So what I'm saying that we must wake up and say no. Develop consciousness. This is wrong. This is wrong.
Onyekachi Ubani, Second Vice President, MBA. I want to thank you very, very much.
I appreciate you, sir.
And Honorable Ikwola Omishure, former member of the Lagos State House of Assembly. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thanks a lot.
I'll be back tomorrow, God willing, with a fresh edition of the program. I'm Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.